Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Saima Amin from Jamia Hamdard. Today we are going to discuss about the module evaluation of solid dosage form under the paper Pharmaceutical and Biological Analysis. The learning objective for this module will be I'll be making the concept clear related to the solid dosage form, especially the tablets. The introduction to the tablet dosage form will be provided, and finally I will be putting emphasis on the evaluation parameter for this tablet dosage form. Especially the focus will be on the organoleptic properties, the chemical and the biological properties of a good tablet formulation. Coming to the introduction to the concept, that is the tablet dosage form, we all know that a tablet is a pharmaceutical dosage form and consists of a mixture of active substances along with the excipients, usually in a powder form, which is then compressed into a solid dosage form. The excipients which are widely included in the tablet formulations are the binders, glidants, which are also called as flow promoters, lubricants to ensure the efficient compression. The other excipients added in a tablet dosage form include disintegrants, sweeteners or flavorants. Sometimes a polymer coating is often applied to make the tablet smoother and easier to swallow, or to control the release of the active ingredient, or to make it more resistant to the environment, that is extending its shelf life, or to enhance the tablet appearance. Now, the evaluation of tablet includes the first feature, that is organoleptic properties of a solid dosage form, especially tablet. It indicates general appearance and includes size, shape, odor, taste, texture and legibility of the identifying marks. For rapid identification of the tablet and consumer acceptance for the tablet, it is given a specific color. The color of the tablet will enable the manufacturer to differentiate the tablet lot. The uniformity of the color is an important parameter, and the tablet should be free from mottling, which is uneven distribution of color. The color uniformity and gloss of a tablet is evaluated using reflectance spectrophotometer, while the odor of tablet indicates the stability of a tablet. For example, a smell of acetic acid in aspirin tablet indicates that the tablet is degraded. For evaluation of the taste of tablet, a separate panel is engaged for the analysis of taste for the tablet by the manufacturer. The first and paramount feature for the quality of a tablet includes its size and shape. We all know that these tablet formulations are available in different shapes and sizes, and to differentiate them on the basis of shape and size is a useful indication, and it helps the particular purpose of that manufacturer also. Also, different shapes of tablets are available based on the age group of the patient. For example, heart-shaped tablets are formulated to signify that they are for the cardiac patients, and while toy-shaped tablets are manufactured to attract children. Unique identification mark. This unique identification mark is again the parameter for evaluating the tablet. Usually, pharmaceutical manufacturers, in order to differentiate their product from the other manufacturers, emboss a special marking on the tablet. The marking can be embossed, engraved or printed. Apart from the company marking, there can be imprints which include product code, product name and product potency. But care must be taken that the letters that are embossed on the tablet are properly printed. And care should also be taken to avoid double impression on a tablet, as it leads to rejection. The next feature for a tablet formulation is its hardness. We all know that the tablet hardness and strength are essential to see whether the tablet can withstand the mechanical shocks of manufacture, packaging rigors, transportation, and to ensure the consumer acceptance also. The hardness of a tablet is required to assure that the tablet should show optimal disintegration and the dissolution. Certain tablets are made hard so that they dissolve very slowly, while some of the tablets should dissolve very rapidly, so they are not made that hard. So, if a tablet is too hard, it may not disintegrate in the required time period, and if the tablet is too soft, it will not withstand the handling during subsequent processing such as coating or packaging. To test the hardness of a tablet, the ancient apparatus used is Monsanto tester. Then we have a strong Cobb tester, Pfizer tester, Irveka tester, and Schillinger tester. Hardness can also be known through electronic microsensor devices nowadays. Usually 5 tablets from each batch is taken for tablet hardness test. The force measured in kilogram per centimeter square indicates the strength of the tablet, and the hardness should lie between 5 to 10 kilogram per centimeter square. The limit of plus minus 5% is allowed for compressed tablet. Usually, tensile strength determines the hardness of a tablet, and tensile strength is expressed through the expression which is tensile strength is equal to 2 times the breaking force. The value is then divided with 3.14 multiplied with the diameter and thickness of that tablet. Usually, hardness is affected by compression of the tablet and compression force, the amount of binder added, the method of granulation and preparing the tablet. Usually, wet method gives more hardness than the direct method, and slugging method gives the best hardness to the tablet formulation. Monsanto hardness tester, also called as Stokes hardness tester, is the very old apparatus based on the compression of tablets between two jaws via spring gauge and screw. Pfizer hardness tester is another kind of the apparatus which was designed in 1950 to measure the hardness. The vertically mounted tablet is squeezed in a device that resembles a pair of pliers. The third type of hardness tester is a strong Cobb hardness tester. Here the braking load is applied through the action of a small hydraulic pump that was first operated manually but now is available in a motorized form. Hamelin hardness tester, also called as Schillinger hardness tester, is the apparatus usually that has two platens between which the tablet is placed and compressed, and the value of the hardness is then measured. Thickness and diameter of the tablet can also be checked by this apparatus, and the mode of the apparatus is required to be set accordingly. For example, to analyze hardness, the mode is set on the hardness, otherwise for thickness or diameter. Friability, which is again a next attribute to the quality of a tablet dosage form. We all know that it's the value or the feature that relates to the tendency of a tablet to crumble. The friability determines the friability by allowing the tablet to roll and fall within a rotating tumbling apparatus. In this test, usually 20 tablets are weighed before, and after a specified number of rotations, usually 100, they are weighed again so that we know that what is the percent loss in the weight. Resistant to weight loss indicates that the tablet's ability to withstand abrasion during handling, packaging and shipping. Compressed tablets that lose less than 0.5% to 1% of their weight are generally considered acceptable. Some chewable tablets like vitamin C tablets and most of the effervescent tablets are highly friable and they require special packaging unit, and it is tested by the friability of the tablet is tested through the apparatus called as Roche friabilizer, which is made up of a plastic drum fixed with a machine which is rotated at 25 revolutions per minute for 100 revolutions. A maximum loss of weight from a single test or from the mean of 3 tests should not be greater than 1% is acceptable for most of the tablets. If obviously cracked, chipped or broken tablets are present in the sample after tumbling, the sample fails the test. Tablet thickness. The thickness of the tablet from production to packaging is controlled carefully. This thickness can vary with no change in weight due to difference in the density of the granulation, the pressure applied to the tablet, and the speed of tablet compression. Thickness of tablet is important in producing tablets identical in appearance, but also to ensure packaging in the selected packaging components. If the tablets are thicker than specified, a given number no longer be packed in given size bottle. Tablet thickness also becomes an important characteristic in counting tablets using filling equipments. For tablet thickness, usually 20 tablets are randomly weighed on a weighing balance and the average weight is calculated. A plus minus 5% deviation from the average weight may be allowed depending upon the size of the tablet. This slide shows the apparatus used for measuring the thickness. This apparatus is called as the vernier caliper, and if you see this apparatus, there are two jaws which are there in this apparatus, and here between the jaws we have to position the tablet. There is a main scale and the vernier scale. The thickness value is calculated seeing the vernier scale colliding with the main scale. The answer is reported in millimeters or centimeters. Weight variation. Weight variation is again a parameter to evaluate the tablet quality. Weight variation test is performed to check whether the manufactured tablets have a uniform weight. As per United States Pharmacopoeia, 20 tablets are weighed individually and the average weight is obtained by dividing the total weight by 20. Now this average weight is compared to the individual weight of the tablet. For a tablet to pass the test, not more than 2 tablets should lie out of the specified percentage and no tablet differs by more than 2 times the percentage limit. If the drug is potent, for example, USP specifies 50 mg of the active ingredient or less as a potent formulation, then the excipients form the greater part of such a tablet, and the correlation between the tablet weight and the amount of active ingredient can be poor in that case. So, in such cases, content uniformity must be performed. If you can see this slide, the comparison of the weight variation as per USP 30 and Indian Pharmacopoeia 2007 is indicated. The first table indicates that if the average weight in terms of milligram is 130 or less, the percent deviation allowed is 10%. If the weight is lying between 130 to 324 milligram, the deviation allowed is 7.5%. However, if the weight is more than 324 milligram, then the percent deviation allowed is 5. In the second table, Indian Pharmacopoeia states that if the weight of the tablet is 80 milligram or less, the percent deviation allowed is 10%. But if the weight lies between 80 milligram to 250 milligram, the deviation allowed is 7.5%. However, if the weight is more than 250 milligram, then the deviation allowed is 5%. Content uniformity test is again an attribute for the quality of the tablet formulation. Here, 30 tablets are randomly selected, and out of these 30 tablets, 10 tablets are assayed individually for the drug content. The tablet passes the test if 9 of the 10 tablets must contain not less than 85% of the content and not more than 105% of the labeled drug content. And the 10th tablet may not contain less than 75% or more than 125% of the labeled content. If these conditions are not met, then remaining 20 tablets are assayed individually and none may fall outside the range of 85 to 115%. Uniformity of dispersion is again the parameter which is required for evaluation of a tablet. Usually 6 tablets are placed in 100 ml of water and stirred gently until completely dispersed. A smooth dispersion so obtained is then passed through a sieve screen with a nominal mesh aperture of 710 micrometer, or it should pass through sieve number 22. This uniformity of dispersion assures that the particles from the tablet will sooner show dissolution. Weight absorption ratio is again required to be known for a tablet formulation. Here, a piece of tissue paper folded twice is placed in a small petri dish, usually of diameter 10 cm, containing a small volume of water as low as 6 ml. Then the tablet is placed on the tissue paper and is allowed to wet completely. The wetted tablet is then reweighed and water absorption ratio is calculated using the expression, that is, water absorption ratio R is equal to 100 multiplied by the difference of WA, that is the weight after absorption, and WB, that is weight before absorption. This whole is then divided by WB, that is weight before absorption. Wetting time. Wetting time is a time which gives us idea how quickly the tablet will be showing the disintegration. It is observed by placing the tablet in a Petri plate and then adding small volume of water. Water absorption ratio between 95 to 115% indicates good dispersion. However, wetting time less than 25 seconds indicates prompt dispersion. For effervescent tablets, apart from the above mentioned parameters, special parameters like CO2 content, that is carbon dioxide content, pH, effervescence time are also reported or known. The water content is also required to be known for a tablet formulation. Here, 10 tablets are dried for 4 hours in a desiccator containing silica gel. The percentage of water content is then observed using moisture analyzer. This indicates that the tablet will not show friability because there is no moisture present in the selected number of the tablets. Carbon dioxide content. Here, to know the carbon dioxide content of a tablet formulation, usually 6 tablets are placed in 100 ml of 1 normal sulfuric acid solution kept in a beaker. In order to determine the amount of released carbon dioxide, the difference in weight before and after dissolving the tablet is calculated. Solution of pH also is required to be known, and here we use pH meter. The pH of the solution is measured by dissolving 3 tablets in 3 different beakers containing 200 ml of water each. The pH of the formulation should be within the range of 5.7 to 6.2. Effervescence time. Here 3 tablets are put in 3 beakers with water and the effervescence time is measured using a stopwatch. Effervescence time is defined as the moment when a clear solution is obtained, and the effervescence time for a tablet should be less than 3 minutes as per British Pharmacopoeia. Stability study analysis is also carried out for the formulations, and the purpose of this stability testing is to predict the quality of the drug substance or the product that varies with time under the influence of variety of environmental conditions such as temperature, humidity, light, and all these temperature conditions and humidity conditions enable the manufacturer to recommend the storage condition or the retest period or the shelf life for such formulations. Generally, the observation of the rate at which the product degrades under normal room temperature requires a long time. Therefore, to avoid this undesirable delay, the principles of accelerated stability studies are adopted, and the International Conference on Harmonization, that is ICH guidelines titled Stability Testing of New Drug Substance and Products Q1A describes the stability test requirements. Since the study takes longer time, hence it would be convenient to carry out accelerated stability studies where the product is stored under extreme conditions of temperature and humidity. Usually the temperature is 40 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade and the relative humidity maintained is 75 plus minus 5%. The tablets are withdrawn after a period of 30 days and then are analyzed for physical characteristics such as dissolution, drug content, and for special tablets such as dispersible tablets, evaluation for the parameters such as uniformity of dispersion and water absorption ratio are also known. As you can see in this slide, the guidelines related to stability study for a tablet dosage form are indicated. We are following 2 guidelines. One is ICH, that is International Conference on Harmonization, and the second one is the guidelines by WHO, that is World Health Organization. The stability for a solid dosage form is carried out, and the stability on the basis of long-term storage, intermediate storage, or accelerated storage is there. For long-term storage, as per ICH guidelines, the temperature is maintained at around 25 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of 60 plus minus 5%, and the samples are stored for a period of 12 months. But as per WHO, the temperature is maintained at 25 degree plus minus 2 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of 60 plus minus 5% for a period of 6 months, or a temperature of 30 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade and a relative humidity of 65 plus minus 5% for a period of 6 months, or 30 degrees centigrade plus minus 2 degree deviation along with 75% relative humidity for a period of 12 months. All three are required for a long-term stability analysis for a tablet. But for intermediate stability analysis, as per ICH guidelines, the temperature maintained is 30 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of 65 plus minus 5% for a period of 6 months. But as per WHO, the guidelines are also same as of ICH. That is 30 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade with relative humidity of 65 plus minus 5%, and the samples are stored for a period of 6 months. The accelerated stability study as per ICH guideline indicates that the temperature should be maintained at 40 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade and the relative humidity should be 75 plus minus 5%. The samples are stored for a period of 6 months, and these conditions are similar for WHO guidelines also. Disintegration process. As we all know that tablet is a concrete unit dosage form which requires disintegration first into the gastrointestinal tract, and then ultimately the disintegrated granules or particles show dissolution, which ensures that the molecules or the particles will be moving across the gastrointestinal tract. In this diagram, the concept is clearly indicated that if a tablet is not able to disintegrate, that tablet will not show any biological presence, will not be able to cross the gastrointestinal tract, and will not be available in the blood. However, if the tablet is able to disintegrate into granules, then these granules will show some solubility into the dissolution medium, leading to their passage across the GIT, and such molecules will be available in the blood. Therefore, disintegration is the first physical change observed for a drug when it enters into the body. For a drug to be absorbed, a drug substance must be in a solution form, and disintegration test is a measure of the time required under a given set of conditions for a group of tablets to disintegrate into particles. Therefore, it is defined as when no residue of the dosage form remains on the screen of the apparatus used for disintegration, and if a residue remains, it consists of fragments of disintegrated parts of the tablet component. Disintegration. Disintegration again is a parameter to say that the quality of the tablet is good. As per United States Pharmacopoeia, the disintegration apparatus consists of 6 glass tubes with a 10-number mesh at the bottom of each tube, and the length of the tube is 3 inches. This arrangement of 6 tubes is placed in a medium simulated to the disintegration environment and is maintained at 37 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade in a 1 liter vessel. The system is made to move up and down through a distance of 5 to 6 centimeter at a frequency of 28 to 30 cycles per minute to mimic the in vivo conditions. The disintegration time of the tablet is compared with the values in the monograph for that specific tablet, and the tablet passes the test if all of them have disintegrated, and if 1 or 2 tablets fail to disintegrate, then the test is repeated on 12 additional tablets or capsules, and now not less than 16 of the total 18 tablets tested must disintegrate. If the tablets adhere to the disc, the test is repeated, and the test passes if all the tablets in the repeat test also show disintegration. Disintegration time for uncoated tablet is 5 to 30 minutes, while for coated tablet it is 1 to 2 hours, specifically 120 minutes in 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid and 60 minutes in phosphate buffer pH 6.8, mimicking the gastrointestinal environment and the luminal environment respectively. For sublingual tablets, the disintegration time is 3 minutes, while for effervescent tablets, disintegration time is 5 minutes. Dissolution. The dissolution is a crucial parameter for the performance of a tablet formulation. It indicates the rate and extent of drug release from the tablet and is estimated through a dissolution test. For tablet containing slowly or poorly soluble drug, determination of dissolution rate may be more important than measuring the tablet disintegration time. The dissolution test measures the amount of time required for a given percentage of drug substance in a tablet to go into solution under a specified set of conditions. It provides a step towards the evaluation of the physiological availability of the drug substance, but it is not designed to measure the safety or efficacy of a tablet being tested. Therefore, it provides an in vitro control procedure to eliminate variations among product batches. Different types of apparatus are available to study the dissolution of a tablet formulation. As per Indian Pharmacopoeia, apparatus 1, which has a paddle, and apparatus 2, which has a basket, are used for the study. But as per United States Pharmacopoeia 30, dissolution apparatus used are rotating basket type, paddle type, reciprocating cylinder, flow-through cell, paddle over disc, rotating cylinder, and the reciprocating holders. In USP apparatus 1, a single tablet is placed in a small wire mesh basket attached to the bottom of the shaft connected to a variable speed motor. The basket is then immersed in the dissolution medium, which is specified in the monograph for that particular tablet, and it contains 1000 ml flask holding the dissolution medium, which can be of volume 500 to 1000. The flask is cylindrical with a hemispherical bottom, and this flask is maintained at 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees centigrade by a constant temperature bath. The motor is adjusted to turn at a specified speed, usually 100 revolutions per minute, and the sample of the fluid or tablet is withdrawn at intervals to determine the amount of the drug available in a solution form. In apparatus 2, the basket is replaced by a paddle and the dosage form is allowed to sink to the bottom of the flask before stirring. United States Pharmacopoeia specifies the dissolution test medium and the volume, the type of apparatus to be used, the RPM of the shaft to be set, time limit of the test, and assay procedure. The test tolerance is expressed as % of the labeled amount of drug dissolved in the time limit. This slide shows the different level of dissolution of any tablet formulation. The first column indicates different level ranging from S1 to S3. The second column indicates the number of the tablets to be tested, and the third column indicates the acceptance criteria for each of the level. S1 level indicates that 6 tablets are taken and each unit is not less than 5%, each unit should not show less than 5% value for the amount of drug dissolved, that is D value. For level 2, that is S2, again 6 tablets are taken, and here the average of 12 units, that is S1 plus S2, is equal to or greater than the D value, and no unit should show D value less than D minus 15%. That means around 85% of the drug should show solubility in the dissolution medium. At level 3, that is S3, here 12 tablets are taken, and now the average of 24 tablets, that is the summation of S1, S2 and S3, is equal to or greater than the D value, and not more than 2 units are less than D minus 15% and no unit is less than D minus 25%. That means all the 24 tablets should show nearly 75% of the drug dissolved and not more than 2 tablets can show percent dissolved for the drug around 85%. This slide shows the apparatus used for the dissolution of the tablet. If you see this slide, there is a beaker holding the dissolution medium, which can be simulated gastric fluid or intestinal fluid. The beaker is positioned and is maintained at a temperature of 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees centigrade. This temperature is maintained through a temperature control knob. There is a rotating paddle which allows the agitation of the dissolution medium so that the molecules are completely dissolved in the dissolution medium. The speed of this rotating paddle is operated through RPM. We can set manually the RPM to desired value. It can be 50 RPM or 100 RPM, that is revolution per minute. Now to summarize this module on tablet formulations, we need to conclude that whatever we have learned through this module, the first thing we have learned through this module is that the tablets are the widely used oral dosage forms which need to be evaluated for their physical, chemical and biological attributes of quality, safety and efficacy. Physical evaluation indicates the assessment of the color, shape, size, unique identification marking and texture. The chemical evaluation of this tablet includes assessment of dissolution time, disintegration time, pH, effervescence time, water absorption ratio and wetting time. The biological efficacy of this concrete dosage form is estimated based on the attributes such as hardness, friability, content uniformity, weight uniformity, dissolution and disintegration time, all these warranting the absorption of the drug from the biological lumen. All these features assure making of such a dosage form under good manufacturing practices as per US FDA. Thank you.